The India versus West Indies first test at Windsor Park, Dominica was as one-sided as you could get. West Indies did not even put up a fight in their home test, and the conditions that they dished out, they asked the Indian spinners to just come and have a big feast about it. What happened towards the end? Ravichandran Ashwin's 12 wickets, combined with a century on debut from Yashasvi Jaiswal and a century from Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli's 76 ensured India won by an innings and 141 runs in just 3 days to take a 1-0 lead in the two-match series. But there was a major talking point about this particular incident that I am about to show you. Ishan Kishan stumping Jason Holder. Now, you have to understand the broader context as to whether Ishan Kishan unwittingly flouted or breached the spirit of the cricket rule. Because what happened in this? You have to understand that in the backdrop of the Alex Carey stumping of Johnny Bairstow in Lords, these kind of actions are getting a lot more traction nowadays. So, was Ishan Kishan guilty of breaching the spirit of the cricket rule, or he just unwittingly wanted to have some fun out there? Because I will explain to you the sequence of events that led to this particular moment and why was it a talking point for the test match. So, the wording is that Ishan Kishan tried to cheekily stump Jason Holder in the second innings of the Dominica test. Kishan waited for close to 5 seconds. In the replay, if you see, and if you look at the slow motion replay, it somehow indicates to 9 seconds. He waited for 5 seconds for Holder to lift his back foot. So, what happened in that? He was undone by a sharp spinning delivery from Ravindra Jadeja. Holder had his back foot grounded to the crease. Kishan waited and then when he lifted his back foot, Jason Holder, Kishan whipped the bails off. And then he appealed for a stumping, but it was flatly denied. Why? Umpire had already signalled the end of the over. Now, this is the major difference between what happened in Dominica and what happened about 2 weeks ago at Lords. Umpire had signalled the over, change of ends, and thus the ball was dead. It was a dead ball. Too much time was taken. Now, whether Ishan Kishan has been following Johnny Bairstow's wicket keeping, that is up to debate, because this is a kind of stumping that he has copied from Johnny Bairstow. Remember, Bairstow about close to 8 to 9 years ago, he had done a similar stumping on a player in county cricket. Now, he waited 5 to 6 seconds. In the slow-mo, it was 9 seconds. He waited for that particular amount of time and whipped the bails off. Now, whether that is breaking the spirit of the game, that is the major debate here. But already too much time was taken, and this was not the first time that Ishan Kishan was doing this. In Dominica, he tried multiple times. He was having fun, but unwittingly when he was having fun, did he break the spirit of the game? Earlier, about 4 to 5 overs earlier, Holder had missed a sharp spinning delivery from Ravindra Jadeja. After that, Kishan waited for Holder to he whipped the bails off to effect the stumping. But then after that, what happened? Because he had whipped the bails off, Holder had actually lifted his back foot after the stumps were broken. So that is why after the third umpire had a look at it, it was given not out. The right decision was made. Here, I will tell you whether this was in the spirit of the game. If you have to look at it, dead ball rules 20.1, it clearly stated once the ball is in the keeper for a significant amount of time and over has been signalled, at that time you cannot effect the stumping. Ishan Kishan waited for over 5 to 6 seconds and then he effected the stumping. Why would he do that? In the case of Alex Carey, why is it different? When Carey stumped Bairstow at Lords, ball was still in play and umpire had not signalled over. You clearly saw it. When Cameron Green had that bouncer to Johnny Bairstow, he ducked and he walked off. Carey collected the ball under 1 second. He just released it, effected the throw, and the stumps were broken. He was stumped. So, England raised a big hue and cry about it because Bairstow had wandered out. He thought it was the over. But it was Bairstow's naivety and England's double-facedness that ensured this became a big storm in a teacup. Australia did not break the rules. They followed the rules. And that is why it was egg on the faces of Bairstow and the England cricket team at that time. What about Ishan Kishan? As I had mentioned, he waited for Holder to lose balance and then effect the stumping. But he waited for far too long. So that means he is seeking an undue advantage. He is trying to find a loophole within the 20.1 dead ball rule and the stumping rule. So that is why if you have a particular delivery that is lodged into your gloves for over 5 to 6 seconds, it is dead ball. Then after that, if you whip the bails off, that is contravention to the spirit of the game. And this is where you have to make an exception to the norm. You have to call that out. You can't keep on waiting and then effect the stumping. That is not in the spirit of the game. So, experts, Sir Curtly Ambrose, when he was on air on commentary, he had this say on this particular stumping. He said, back in the day when we played, and you left alone a delivery at the end or in the middle of the over, and the keeper collected the ball, right away you could move down to your partner. They would normally throw it to the slip cordon. Nowadays, you've got to stand there for a minute to make sure. You saw what happened in Leeds. Bairstow was in the crease every single time the ball had left. So he was just ensuring he did not step out even once. Here, Holder had his back foot firmly in the back of the crease. Yet Kishan waited. Holder had a slight lift up and then he whipped the bails off. But after so long, waiting for it, this is in contravention to the spirit of the game. Let me be very honest about it. And yes, not many issues have been raised because it's India versus West Indies. India dominated, India won, they had fun. It felt as if they were playing a picnic out there in Dominica. They were playing a West Indies team that were just assembled but not playing cricket at that time. It was a tragic patch indeed. But this particular dismissal, which luckily was not given because umpire had already signalled over, is it breaking the spirit of the game? Was this fair? Was it legal? You can tell us in the comments below, because in my judgment book, Kishan should not have waited that long to effect the stumping. Yes, Holder was in control of himself. Why did he have to whip the bails off? Simple. Spirit of the game was broken. But as we all know today in the world of modern cricket, there is nothing called the spirit of the game. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you.